Good morning. This is Kettleland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
We're learning more about federal charges that have been filed in Iowa against two men investigators say are connected to the death of a 14-year-old Sioux Falls girl. McKenna Wendel was found dead in rural Brookings County on March 19th. 51-year-old Mark Milk is accused of giving Wendel the drug that led to her death.
He is facing charges for bringing her across state lines with the intent to have her engage in criminal sexual activity. 38-year-old John Rogness is charged with conspiring to conceal evidence and accessory after the fact.
The Department of Justice policy is to pursue the most serious, readily provable charges, and the charges that are alleged in the indictment all occurred within the Northern District of Iowa.
According to court documents, Wendel died from a cocaine overdose. Authorities won't say where it happened, but court documents say the Lyon County Sheriff's Office was involved in this investigation. Both suspects in the disappearance and death of McKenna Wendel have served time in prison for manslaughter. Mark Milk was sentenced to life in prison for a 1993 homicide in Tripp County. We interviewed Milk in a 2016 story about an inmate pizza party that raised money for charity. In
2023, then Governor Kristi Noem commuted Milk's sentence, which led to him being released on parole in 2024. Co-defendant John Rogness served time in prison for manslaughter for his role in a Brookings County homicide in 2007. He was also paroled in 2024. One person was taken to the hospital after a UTV crash in the Black Hills. The Lead Volunteer Fire Department says it happened around 8:30 Wednesday night in the area of Richmond Hill Road.
Because of limited cell phone coverage, firefighters had to search for the crash. Firefighters later found a side-by-side had rolled with a person still inside. Crews had to use the jaws of life to cut the person out of the vehicle.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Travis. Good morning, everybody. Our weather picture for today, we are tracking some scattered rain. Let's take a look at it on Futurecast. It's not a big area of showers, but kind of some narrower, thinner elements that are moving through from central South Dakota into the southeast. Temperatures will be impacted by the rain. Your midday temperature close to 70 in Sioux Falls, and then eventually we'll break into the mid-70s to close out the day. But again, plan on these intermittent areas of rain in the forecast, at least mostly in the southeast. That's an upfront look at the weather. We'll have your weekend outlook coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. The Sioux Falls Municipal runoff election is next Tuesday.
Election officials say voters need to know more than just using a black pen.
If they're coming here to vote, we have had some lines, so know that you need to allow yourself a bit of time. Plan on standing in line. There are a few times where there isn't a line, and that's great. But also the road construction on Minnesota Avenue, that's a little difficult to deal with. So they would need to know that you can only get to us off of 6th.
Anderson says voters should also avoid marking outside the oval when filling out their ballots to help ensure their votes are counted properly. For those who rely on public transportation, getting around the city of Sioux Falls may have gotten a bit easier since the launch of a new partnership with the city and others.
The partnership with VIA in 2024 has seen steady improvement as the new system covers the entire city of Sioux Falls, which has increased ridership. The improved buses and integrated system helps keep the residents of Sioux Falls comfortable and better connected, especially since the #1 stop is in healthcare.
Number one is actually our dialysis center, Vera Dialysis at West 53rd. And think how important that is. These are people who are going there for life-saving treatment for kidney failure, and they're relying on this system to get that life-saving treatment.
People can ride Sioux Area Metro's fixed route bus and paratransit services for free every Friday as part of the Summer Fridays promotion. The free rides are an effort to introduce more riders to the city's public transportation system. Let's look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another check of your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, here's a look at your upfront forecast today. There are those showers you can see as we display the information there by midday. I do think, though, north of Highway 14, we get up into northern South Dakota, we have some clearing, and Breeze, though, out of the northwest, 15 to 30 miles an hour, pretty solid there. There's that rain chance in the southeast that'll be heading out of our coverage area for the evening. So we'll have a pleasant evening forecast. And then for tomorrow, we're expecting dry skies to start Saturday morning. But let's keep an eye on far southwestern Ketherland. It looks like a little bit of rain, some thunderstorms actually developing near Cherry County, Nebraska. That's down around Valentine. And then some of that might break off into a little bit of southern South Dakota. There'll be some bigger storms to our south, though. I think those eventually will probably take up most of the starch in the atmosphere. We'll probably end up with some more general scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not really a big severe weather weekend. I think a lot of those elements will be well to our south in Nebraska and Kansas. But we'll pick up maybe some lightning and thunder. Certainly Rapid City, we'll have to kind of watch that. Good chance of rain going into Saturday night and Sunday morning. Sioux Falls, yep, some of this could wander east. I want to keep it in the forecast, but I also want to make you aware that a lot of Sunday there is an easterly wind moving into Sioux Falls. And what that's going to do is it undercuts some of this moisture that we have available. We already know that the deepest moisture is going to be connected to those bigger storms to our south. So we really don't have that in play. What we have to rely on is an upper level low feature right up here in northwest South Dakota. It kind of spins away, and then you get these little segments here on Father's Day. So we do have a pretty high chance of rain for Rapid City and for Pierre. It's a little bit less for Aberdeen, but it's still there. And then for Sioux Falls, again, these little pieces will kind of work through. But when it's all said and done, I will tell you the best chances of those bigger rains, 1, 2, even 3-inch totals, will be in Nebraska, which they need it. They've had a lot of drought, and you know that story. So does it affect all of Nebraska? Well, no, but at least a good chunk of central and northern Nebraska would see a good system here, we'll say, this weekend. Parts of South Dakota, too, west and central. It is definitely a rainmaker here. Sioux Falls, and you go and see into Minnesota how much less that is. And that's the story. Okay, so you'll see that all evolving this weekend. 70s, oh yeah, we're going to keep it below normal temperatures. The whole 7-day forecast is like this. We're going to stay in the 70s. So if you like that kind of weather, enjoy it. If you want it to be a little hotter, well, you're going to have to wait for later in the summer, at least not this week, as we're going to stay below normal. But a couple of rain chances ahead. I could see Tuesday ending up with some showers and a couple thunderstorm chances. Aberdeen also, it's clearly below normal. Normal high is 81. And we'll be in the 70s on Sunday, high of just 70 with that scattered rain. And I think that Pierre and Rapid is a little bit more widespread rainfall, especially last half of Saturday into Sunday is when we're going to really ramp that up in western South Dakota. So be watching those trends on your Storm Tracker app all weekend long. All right, that's your weather forecast. More details, Ketherland.com.